Hi, I'm Julie Gizzi. I'm an executive director with the Pampered Chef, and today I'm going to teach you how to make some fresh guacamole and a veggie tray for your family. Lots of people look forward to getting guacamole when they go out to eat and don't really know how to make it at home. So I'm going to teach you today how to do that. If you take a look, I'm going to be using all our Pampered Chef products to do that. First, this is our bamboo large bowl, and I've got it full of fresh veggies, and we're going to transform this into some really healthy guacamole and veggies. So to start, I've got our manual food processor. This is a fabulous product. These two pieces go in the dishwasher if you like, and this one you want to hand wash. And I'm going to start with a big bunch of fresh cilantro. I'm just going to cut off the stalks so we don't need those. And just cut them just like that. Stuff it into the bottom of your manual food processor. And to this we're going to add a few more ingredients. I've got a whole jalapeno here, and do you know that the heat from your jalapeno really comes from the seeds and the white membrane inside? So before we all started this video together, I went ahead and topped off the took off the top and then took a vegetable peeler and just cleaned out the inside. So I'm just going to give that a rough chop in half, throw it in there, and then we're going to go with some fresh garlic. Now garlic is super healthy for you, and if you've not used fresh garlic before, this is called a head, and then this is called a clove. So I didn't always know that. And so you want to just take your clove. You don't need to peel it because with our garlic press, it presses straight through the skin. So just stick it in there, give it a good firm squish, and you can see all that minced garlic. Scrape it against the side, and then we've got this little food holder or cleaner for you to pull out your peel so that you won't have smelly fingers. So anyway, super great product. You can press fresh ginger through it, but I use it a lot for garlic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Just a few chops with a manual food processor, and it's kind of like a top, a child's toy. So give it a few spins, and you can see on the inside it's starting to get kind of minced. So we're going to do this in a couple of stages. So we've got the cilantro started, and to this we're going to add a couple more ingredients. This is called a veggie wedger. And unlike an apple wedger, it's made for things that don't have a core. There's a pointed tip on the inside that's serrated, which makes it easy for it to slip through things like onions, oranges, and even tomatoes. So we'll start with an orange. This is great if you like to have oranges as a snack. You just set it inside and press straight down. There you go. Okay, and we've got our orange wedges right there. We'll do a tomato next, so go ahead and sit it in there, straight down. And because it's serrated, it doesn't smash it, it just gives nice wedges. And then finally we'll do the onion. And again, super easy, just slips right through. So we're gonna add one wedge of our onion. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it in half and throw it in there. And then I'm gonna add the tomatoes. And I think we've got everything in there. So now we're just going to give that a whirl. Oops. Got to make sure the post is straight. Okay, that's looking great. It's a nice salad. If you like it more coarse, chop less or spin less. If you want it a little more fine, go a little more. I'm going to go a few more hits here. Okay, so we'll leave that to the side. Now let's go ahead and get our avocados ready. This is a small batter bowl. I love this little bowl. We have one that's double the size too. It's called a classic batter bowl. And we're going to go ahead and add our avocados. I always pick up an extra avocado just in case one of them has a bad spot when we open it. But 2 avocados is all we'll need. If you're not familiar with fresh avocados, when you're at the grocery store, sometimes you find some bright green ones. There's nothing wrong with those. It just means you won't be able to use them right away. So you want them to look kind of like this color here, where they're kind of dark, and they have a little bit of give to them when you push. Sometimes you press on them and they feel hollow inside. Those aren't good. So when they look like this, they're just about perfect. We've got our avocado peeler here, and the way you use this is you pierce it and then go all the way around. So we'll do both of them. And I'll show you 2 tricks for this. So you just twist, and that's a really beautiful avocado on the inside. If you're using your avocado for sandwiches, what you might do is just take your knife and then score the inside, and you'll have really nice slices. So when you lift them out, they look just like this, and they're perfect to lay on your sandwiches. In this case though, I don't care if they're not perfect. In fact, I'll teach you something that I learned from a friend who used to work in a Mexican restaurant. When you open your avocado, simply squeeze your peel and it all comes out perfectly. So that's another tip. That doesn't work so well if you want nice neat slices, but certainly for guacamole it's fine. Now to get your pit out, you can use the tip here and just turn it upside down and flip it out like that. So if any of you though like to live on the dangerous side, here's what you do. Take your knife, give it a smack and a twist, and then you just throw it out. So you can decide what feels better for you. Okay. Now avocados are really good for you. They have the right kinds of fats that we want to eat, and our family really likes guacamole. So a lot of times what I'll do is if I've made extra or avocados are on sale, I'll go ahead and make a big batch and freeze it, and it freezes beautifully. So take your mix and chop next. A lot of people love this for crumbling up your ground beef or sausage right in your skillet. I use mine mostly for mashing bananas, making guacamole, mashing strawberries, and I like my guacamole to be a little bit on the chunky side, so I'm going to let it stay just like that. And I'll go ahead and scrape that off. All right. Now this recipe was taught to me by a friend who learned it tableside at a restaurant in San Antonio several years ago. And so one of the ingredients that is different in this recipe is the orange juice. So you're going to take a piece of your orange and press it with our citrus press. And I usually like to do a couple of them. It adds a little bit of sweetness to your guacamole, but not so much that it's overpowering. Oops, there's a squirt. Okay, and then we'll save the rest of the orange for a snack later. The last ingredient I'm going to add in here for right now is some lime juice. Now when you're choosing limes, look for limes that have yellow patches on them, and that's nature's way of saying that it's a good one. The other thing you want to do is kind of feel it. It should feel heavy for its size, and then you know you've got a juicy lime. Same goes for when you're choosing lemons. Choose lemons that have green patches and oranges that might have some green patches. So for the limes, you just stick them in there, cut side down, and then you get lots of beautiful juice out of it, just like that. Okay. The citrus gives some good flavor, but it also helps prevent browning, and so that's why you want to add that in there. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, so all we have to do now is add a little bit of salt and our veggies that we did in the manual food processor. My mouth is watering, this smells so good. Okay. And all of those veggies are going to go right in there. You know, sometimes you go in the store and you find packets of seasoning for guacamole. You really don't need that. Vegetables have such good flavor on their own. When you just mix the fresh ingredients together, that's all that you need. Okay. I like to add a little bit of salt, and this is our salt and pepper mill. This is our coarse sea and Himalayan salt. So I just add a few twists to that. If you're planning to serve this with tortilla chips, you probably don't need the salt at all because you're going to have plenty of it on your chips, but I like to use this as a veggie tray. Okay, doesn't that look good? Just like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put some right here into our little bamboo bowl. And sometimes when we have dinner, instead of doing a big salad, I will do a veggie tray. And my son, who has braces, has trouble sometimes eating lettuce, but enjoys a veggie tray like this. So I'm going to show you how to finish off that veggie tray with a simple product. It's called our crinkle cutter, and I love how easy you can, how easy it is to make a veggie tray look pretty with that one tool. So I've got a carrot and some celery, and here's my crinkle cutter. Comes with a protective case, and all you do is just trim off the ends, and you don't need to throw these pieces away. I'll tell you what to do with it in just a little bit. What you do is put your crinkle cutter on the board close to you, get it started, reach over the top, and go straight down. That's a safe way. So it's not something you really chop with, you really just rock with it. And because you've got the grooves, of course, your tray looks pretty, but it grabs the dip, so that makes it kind of nice too. So I'm going to trim off the edges here. So very quickly you get some veggie sticks. Okay, I like to do the English cucumbers, especially in the months where your cucumbers aren't in season. What I like about these is that the skins are really thin and there's very few seeds in there, so you can leave all of the vegetable intact. And the more you can eat whole foods without taking things out, the better it is for you. They're really good for you for fiber, and they'll make you feel like you're really getting better nutrition. The last thing I'm going to do is get a red pepper started for us. Yeah, I'm going to grab a knife real quick. I'll show you a way, if you were doing this for, and you just wanted pepper strips, just take your thumb and pop the top straight in there, and then when you break it open you haven't lost anything. But in this particular case, I want to wedge this with my Veggie Wedger, and then I won't have to cut it any further, and it'll make a nice wide surface for the dip. So just kind of break that up. What's fun about peppers is that there's so many beautiful colors out there that you can really dress up your tray. So stick your pepper in there straight through, and now you've got veggies for your veggie tray. So there is a quick and easy way to make guacamole.